All right, we are walking up to Sweet Teas, and we're going to talk to Leanne from Sweet Teas in Lakeland, Florida. And this lady's great. She moved down from Maryland. She purchased this business called Lake Gibson Teas, made it her own, and now she runs a nice successful retail shop and does screen printing, a bunch of other stuff. Let's go take a look, and we'll start off not by meeting Leanne, there's Sweet Teas, but by meeting this little guy here. Shop dogs are great. People love them. Here's the showroom, and she's in a strip mall, so there is some walk-in traffic, but surprisingly enough, that is not the bulk of her business. I'm just going to take you a little tour here so you can see that she does rhinestones. She's doing vinyl. She specializes in embroidery as well, promotional products. Really positioned great in an area like this to succeed in the custom apparel business. We're going to go through that curtain right there into the shop and meet Leanne. Hi, Leanne, please introduce yourself to everybody out there.
Hi, I'm Leanne Douglas. I'm the owner of Sweet Teas and More here in Lakeland.
Cool. And who is this guy again?
This is Judah.
This is Judah, who found his ball finally.
Yes, he did. He constantly is looking for his ball and someone to throw it.
That's great. Oh, so I'll tell you what, do you mind giving us the tour and telling us a little about the business?
Sure. We sort of have our shop sectioned off in areas. Here in this corner, the most important corner is the lunch table, the refrigerator, and the microwave. But in addition to that, we have all of our vinyl. We have wall vinyl, sticker vinyl, heat-applied vinyl, and tackle twill for Letterman jackets. We do a lot of Letterman jackets. Our Oki data printer sits here next to my art computer and my new cutter.
There you go. Okay, so I just want to point out a couple of things here while we're looking at this.
Sure.
Is you've got the Oki 8432, part of the Digital HeatFX package.
Correct.
And this is the space it requires to operate, except for the heat press, which I really like. It's a desktop printer.
Absolutely.
You've just got the laptop, okay, and that's pretty much it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all you need.
And that should lead us over into the embroidery part of your business,
yes, right? And that is where I position my heat press, and there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Because when I have my embroidery machines running, I can often press my shirts in between times. So for me, it's a functional thing because a shirt runs anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes on an embroidery machine. So while that shirt is running, I have 5 to 10 minutes to press shirts.
Okay. I like that.
And that's where, I do my marrying process here, all in this little corner, because work-wise, it's functional for me.
That's great. And you've got the Hotronics heat press, and you've got a pretty good selection of embroidery machines here.
I do.
So you purchased this business.
I did.
Did all of these embroidery machines come with the business?
No.
Okay.
The Brother semi-commercial I brought with me.
Okay.
That's mine. I've had it for 15 years.
Okay.
Shortly after I arrived, I got the single head Tajima.
Mm-hmm.
The 4-head Tajima came with it.
Okay. Got it. So I also see, the one question we always get on the custom apparel Facebook groups is, how do you store your hoops? Thread. So the pegboard works. That looks great.
We took a great deal of time laying that out. I will tell you there is one problem with that, and that is your thread gets dusty. So every time I pull it down, I'm usually dusting it off a little bit.
Good. Okay. So do you have any examples of what you do with the Digital HeatFX system?
One of our largest customers that we press almost daily is for one of the local hospitals.
Okay.
Their emergency room, their respiratory therapy, children's emergency. We do T-shirts for them. They're allowed to wear those to work. We do sweatshirts, zip-up sweatshirts for them, and we also do embroidery for them on the full fleece jackets that zip up. But we have a number of other customers who want full color, but they only want 12. And we will not screen print that.
Gotcha.
So those customers were offered the opportunity to switch to our full color transfer system or not.
Okay, I like that.
And we used to have a 6-color automatic. It was 19 years old. It was running well. I decided to sell it before it was not running well. So
Okay.
now we simply screen print because this is how our business has changed so much. That Digital HeatFX has reduced my amount of screen print so much that this full 4 manual guy over here does just it's fine.
I love that. That's great. That's terrific. So, and that's kind of the point, because you said that that retail space might not be your long-term goal.
It is no longer my long-term goal.
Okay.
Everyone knows that the world is moving towards all online. Stores right and left are closing. I really enjoyed the idea of having this retail space, but I also find you're really chained to it. It's very difficult to take time away.
Right.
You know, a week away, what are you going to do with that? I mean, if you have someone to run it for you, good for you, but
Right.
that doesn't always work out.
You're
well.
pretty much a one-woman shop here.
I am now.
So, yeah.
I have help coming in from time to time when
Okay.
I'm super busy, but I do not have a full-time staff. I
Gotcha.
used to, but
Okay.
I don't any longer.
Okay.
So everything is changing, and my goal is to get a home and some kind of a building on the property or whatever,
Yeah.
and take all of this home. I'm okay with the screen print, the digital HeatFX, and all of that being in the house itself.
Yeah.
And but the screen print has to go outside.
Right,
somewhere.
especially if you're not used to screen printing, or a lot of the folks that are probably watching this are new to the custom apparel business in general. You've got a couple things that you have to have with screen printing, right?
Screen printing is a very messy business. The washing out creates mess everywhere. Ink doesn't just wipe away. It is heat cured. So when it gets on something, it stays on something.
Right.
And I don't know how well you can see those buckets
I'm
over there.
gonna walk back there.
It's just a messy, messy, messy job.
This is kind of the contrast, and one of the reasons that I pointed out your desk space for Digital HeatFX.
Right.
Versus
Compared to all of
this, because after you screen print, you're going to put it on the dryer. And when you put it on the belt dryer, you need ventilation. You can
Yes.
see that.
Yes.
So that's a
But
big
you
deal.
also need a dark room. You also need washout space, and you're not
Yeah.
even looking at that. Please, let's not.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We don't have to look at that. I
So
get
there's
it.
another whole room back here. All the print positives are stored on this monstrous shelf.
Yes.
You have to have the dark cabinets for your screens that contain emulsion.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a space with the washout booth and all the chemicals that go along with that. It's a messy job.
Yeah.
And I guess I have to say, since I have learned to screen print, I do like it. But it is such a multi-step process, and it takes a while to set up. But
Right.
once you're printing, you kind of get into a groove, and I like it. But the digital HeatFX is so much quicker, especially for multiple colors.
Yeah. And do you typically charge a setup fee when you do Digital HeatFX?
The way I do that, no,
Okay.
not really. If someone brings me artwork and it's pretty simple, I don't charge them for that.
Okay.
But if I'm going to sit down for an hour or more, I call that's my art fee, because really, other than that, I don't really have.
So because people are going to ask this, typical customer buys 6 shirts, full color. What do you normally charge?
I can tell you what I charge,
Yeah.
but every market is different.
Yeah.
When I get an order for a single shirt, it's $20 question. If they go to 2 shirts, 2 to 5, I'll drop it to 18 a shirt.
Okay.
And if they order up to, say 10 or more, then I'll go to 15. But basically, if it's a very simple one location print,
Right.
I might do 1 shirt for 15.
Right.
If they want the back 2, then it goes to 20.
Gotcha.
So
So
we try to keep it really simple.
and that's great. And you're not underselling, which we talk to people that do that. You're going to make $10 to $15 a shirt.
Yeah.
That's it, which is
Yeah.
more than fair, especially when you
again-
think about the rent here.
Right.
Yeah.
The rent here is high. And the other thing too is, because I have that margin and I stick to that price, I don't have to charge a setup fee.
Right.
It
Gotcha.
gives me that extra 15 minutes or whatever that I spend on their artwork, so that they're happy with what they get when
Okay.
they go out the door.
Okay, so I've got some basic questions for you.
Okay.
So why did you buy a business instead of, because you had a business up north,
I worked at home.
okay, and you relocated to Lakeland, right? So why didn't you start fresh here? What was attractive about that?
The customer base was already here.
Okay.
The equipment was all here. I even had a staff. I inherited the whole
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I got everything. So I was able to walk in the door, and my biggest challenge was evaluating the staff and learning how to use all the stuff that we did.
Okay.
I needed to make a change to an absolute full-time income. And in the state of Florida, for some reason, buying business is easier than buying a house.
Okay.
So that's what I did. Businesses are marketed here like houses.
Yeah.
They are. And it was very simple. And it wasn't expensive.
Terrific. Okay. And you already had embroidery experience?
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years of embroidery experience. You did not know screen printing.
I knew nothing about screen printing.
And of course, no T-shirt transfer experience. You never worked with Digital HeatFX or...
No, not with that. I had ordered from ColDesi before. When
Okay.
we lived in Maryland, I was interested in learning how to make patches, and you had a patch
Oh
kit.
yeah, the patch kit is great.
Yeah, so I had the patch kit, but that's really all I knew. So when I started seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 30 minutes from them now.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm an avid YouTube video person. Like when I'm evaluating something, do I want this? Do I not want this?
Yeah.
I watch videos,
Okay.
YouTube everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I looked at DTG. I looked at everything. I would go to the ISS show and walk.
Right.
And I was looking for that thing, that something that I wanted to add. And I couldn't find it.
Right.
It took me a year.
Wow.
To find
Okay.
it. Yeah, I was picky.
Yeah,
Super
that's
picky.
great.
I looked at the DTG and I was just like, yeah, this is just not for me.
Okay.
I just didn't think. I didn't like it having to be only one kind of shirt. I think it's all poly, right?
All cottons.
All cotton.
Yeah, better with cottons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then the sublimation was the opposite. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, with this, I don't care what kind of shirt you want it on. As long as it's not too much spandex, you can have it.
Got it.
So
Okay,
that was
that's
what
great.
I liked. And the full color, and it's just so easy.
On my way in, I saw, maybe we can walk back over there,
Sure.
to a box of EXO Stencil.
Yes.
Okay,
my
so
new toy.
you haven't tried that yet.
No, it came yesterday.
Okay, that's cool. What do you expect to get out of the EXO Stencil?
Space savings.
Okay.
Currently, the most difficult part of the screen print process for me is the proper coating with emulsion. And so it's this time-consuming series of events. I have to wash out the ink and blow out the emulsion. Then I let it dry till tomorrow. And then I come back and I coat the emulsion and I put it in that dark cabinet. And then I have to wait another day. And then, if I did a good job, that screen will burn and wash out correctly. But guess what? That doesn't usually happen for me.
Right.
So
Got it.
2 or 3 tries and I get a good burn on a screen. So I saw an email about this a few months ago, and I shot off a message to Holly about it when I started having problems with the ones that are due out, like 2 weeks ago. It was for my cousin, so it's okay.
Okay.
But I just cannot get his screen burned, and I only have one at that mesh, one screen. So I was like, you know what? I got on the phone, I called Holly, I'm like, look, I think I need this stuff. I was like, is this a new product, or is it just new that I just heard about? She said it was relatively new. So my biggest thing with this is I've got to take a few minutes and switch my print from positives to negatives. I am trying that out today.
Okay, that's great. I appreciate that. So the idea is that, you'll use the EXO Stencil, you'll make a transfer pretty much the same way you do a regular Digital HeatFX transfer.
Guess what I don't need?
What?
I don't need my Epson printer and the $100 worth of ink that costs to put that thing. I won't need a burn table. I don't need a dark room. And I don't need emulsion. It's $58.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So all of those things that are taking up space in my shop, and since I want to go home, I won't need all that anymore.
Do you have any advice for people that are just starting out in the custom apparel business that you think would help them along the way?
Since I didn't really start from scratch, that's a hard question. I would just say, make sure you know your market. Know exactly what you're willing to put the work into, and start small.
Yeah.
I have a lot going on here. And
you do.
I didn't just start though. I mean, I started and got really good in one place. And then, even though I was here and all this was going on, I wasn't running all of it at the time. I didn't know the first thing about screen print. I just kind of tackled one thing at a time. I had to learn how to cut vinyl. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to prepare it. I didn't know how to use Corel Draw. I just know. But I've been here 3.5 years and I've gotten pretty okay with most of it.
Good. That's great. All right. Thanks, Leanne from Sweet Teas in Lakeland, Florida. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.